Nobody wins when the family feels.
I ain't got no filter like a vehicle with no AC. I might run up on yo nigga hoe. I'm black.
I'm trying to talk to him too. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I really do. That's like my big
I'm sorry, you're gonna come in?
1813.
1813.
Okay, county, we got one male that's pronounced. We got 3 females in critical and 1 more male that's critical. I'm going to call you guys with information on the victims.
Fam, I was doing my research on this Georgia mall shooting that happened in Savannah overnight. But as I fell asleep doing research, I woke up to some news about a mass shooting that happened in Chicago. And I knew more details about this situation than the Savannah, Georgia one, so I pushed that to the second one. And we're going to talk about this one first. And let's just say out the gate, it seemed like Chicago just don't let up. In today's video, we're breaking down a wild situation that went down in the last 24 hours in downtown Chicago. A local female rapper was throwing her album release party when gunshots rang out, leaving 3 people dead, 9 people shot, and over 10 people injured. Now, what makes this even more crazier is just hours before this incident, the hood affiliated with this female rapper had men also from their neighborhood attend this album release party. Let's just say less than 24 hours prior to this situation, they was just seen online dissing another man who lost his life less than 24 hours before the mass shooting. The streets been tense, and this might have been a direct consequence to all that built up pressure. Now, some of y'all might remember this female rapper from a story we covered last year. She made headlines after her physical altercation popping off following the release of a diss track aimed at her. That incident left one of her friends allegedly stabbed, and it landed her on house arrest. Fast forward to now, she's back in the news for all the wrong reasons. What was supposed to be a celebration of her new album had turned deadly, as her own boyfriend was tragically killed in the middle of all of it. Today we break down what allegedly led up to this. Look at how these situations keep getting out of control. Talk about the dangers of fueling street beef through music and social media. Of course, we also gonna pay our respects to those who lost their life and unpack what really went down. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Now, if you want to check out the first video we did on this female rapper just a year ago, I'll leave the link in the bio. Today we visit Chicago, Illinois, in a neighborhood on 78th and Essex. A neighborhood that birthed a Chicago well-known rapper that go by the name of G Herbo. Also many more, with artists like Big Op and even a female artist like Mello buckzz. Last year, Mello buckzz dropped a track titled Move with over 5 million views and counting that was shot in front of 78th and Essex.
The butt off liquor, I'ma throw this ass for sure. Wave my pipe round in the air and put my neck up on the floor.
11 months ago, she dropped a track titled BD featuring G Herbo with over 2 million views and counting that also had a cameo on 78th and Essex.
My prime I ain't got no filter like a vehicle with no.
Mello buckzz been continuing to thrive in her career, and just last week, she announced that she's dropping a mixtape titled Hollywood on July 3rd. And the night before the release, July 2nd, 2025, Mello buckzz went to Instagram and posted that she was hosting a Hollywood at a private location, saying that doors open at 7 p.m. Now, unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, we'll later find out exactly where this private location was. But before we get to that, while she was promoting her mixtape release party, men affiliated with her neighborhood was dissing a man who lost his life just less than 24 hours prior. Allegedly, he went on a drill and his car got popped. The victim was identified as Drills from 9-5 Mob. It happened early Wednesday morning, the night of the album release party, in the West Pullman neighborhood in Chicago's far south side. He was inside his car when a dark-colored vehicle pulled up and someone inside started shooting in the 1200 block of South LaSalle Street. Drills was shot once in the head and was taken to Advocate Christ Medical Center, where he was later pronounced dead. May he rest in peace and love and condolences to his family. Police said no arrests had been made, and the gun was recovered from the scene of the shooting, confirming Drills died with his gun on him, allegedly trying to go on a drill.
Good morning. Well, Chicago police investigating after 2 men are shot to death in separate incidents. Now, the attacks happened a few miles apart and around roughly an hour from one another. Now, the first shooting happened near 79th and Lafayette around 11:20 last night. Officers responded to the scene to find a 66-year-old man had been shot in the chest and neck. Investigators say witnesses tell them the man was standing outside when a dark-colored sedan approached and someone inside the vehicle fired shots. The victim died at the hospital. Police tell us this morning he was not the intended target. A little while later, shots rang out near 121st and LaSalle in West Pullman. Officers there responded to a call about a person shot and arrived to find a man in his 20s wounded inside his car. Police say the man was sitting in a car when a dark-colored vehicle drove up and someone inside started shooting. The man was shot in the head and was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Police say they did find a weapon at that scene. Now, police are continuing to investigate both shootings and have not said if they are connected. By the way, no one is in custody and no arrests have been.
Now, shortly after this incident, people went to Instagram, associated with 78 in essence, to diss drills. One person wrote, "Hope your family got money for your funeral, bitch." One person wrote, "Drills died on a drill." Another person wrote, "They had been getting it fired up." Now, we're going to stop it there. We're not trying to disrespect nobody, but you get the point, fam. But the same day, even though Mello buckzz had posted the private location on her Instagram, the word got out to the wrong person, because somebody enemies who went to that party had got the location, which we do. The venue was named Artis Restaurant and Lounge, located on 311 West Chicago Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. One woman decided to post the location while Mello buckzz was performing. Not saying that's how the alleged enemies got the location, but check it out.
I'm trying to talk to him and shit. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I really do. That's like my big we do our own position. I don't know what to call.
But about 2.5 hours after that video, at around 11 p.m., Chicago police had reported that 4 people was killed and 14 was wounded in a mass drive-by shooting outside their lounge. They say a number of clubs and businesses are located in that area. And witnesses say they heard the rapid fire and the gun racing out of the area. One female witness said it was traumatizing, and I'm just shook. From people screaming, to blood on the street, to people lying on the street saying, "I can't breathe." Just horrific, more than I ever seen. End quote. A worker at the nightclub told the local news that the club was closing when the shooting happened, so a large group of people were headed outside. Police say a preliminary investigation indicate that a dark-colored car drove past the nightclub minutes after 11 p.m. when an unknown person or multiple people took out one or more guns and opened fire into a crowd of people. Now, one of the people who lost their life was Mello buckzz' boyfriend. Check out our Instagram story the following morning.
I'm talking about it.
This is all new.
On that overnight mass shooting.
Again, at least 4 people are dead, 14 others are hurt. Let's go straight out to Nate Rogers, who joins us live right outside the club where this happened in River North. Nate?
Anthony, good morning to you and Natalie. I tell you, this was a god-awful tragedy here in River North, a very chaotic scene from what we're hearing from witnesses here at the venue, but also at the hospital. We do know, confirmed by Chicago police, that 18 people were shot, 4 people killed. The victims' ages range from 21 to 31 years old. Take a look at this video, guys, from overnight. Here's what we know. Police tell us a dark-colored vehicle drove past the location. Someone pulled out a gun and started shooting at a large crowd that was standing outside. Many people seen running for cover. Now, at this hour, it is unknown if there were multiple shooters. We do know the sidewalk remains littered with blood, shoes, and clothing. The shooting happened outside Artis Restaurant and Lounge, which recently opened here at 311 West Chicago Avenue just after 11 o'clock last night. We've learned that that local artist Mello had a listening party at this location prior to this incident. We spoke to street pastor Donovan Price, who was at the scene moments after those gunshots rang out. He also visited multiple hospitals where victims were taken. Here's more from witnesses.
First I've seen just, people wanting to find their other people, find who was alive, finding who was, where their phones were, because they dropped them in the chaos, so they couldn't even couldn't even find their car keys. It's something that you wouldn't expect to find in the city. We have a lot of shootings, but nothing like this.
It's really sad what's going on out here. The community can step up. Obviously, this is not just taking place on the south and west side of the black and brown communities. This is happening all over, including downtown on the north side. It's going to take all of us to save us.
Now, a little bit more about those victims who lost their lives. We know that they are a woman who was shot in the chest, another woman who was shot in the chest as well. We also received word that there were 2 men, ages 24 and 25 years old, who were shot in the chest and head that lost their lives. The Dunkin' Donuts, guys, actually, that you see behind me, it remains closed right now as crews are trying to repair glass that was shattered as a result of the shooting. You can actually see some of the shattered glass on the ground right now. We do know detectives were out here, and they will be back out here canvassing the neighborhood looking for surveillance video, as apparently there are multiple surveillance cameras in this area. The latest from Chicago police is that there are no suspects in custody, but again, 18 people shot overnight, 4 people killed following a listening party here in River North. We do know that their victims remain hospitalized, some in good condition, others in critical condition. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story and keep you updated on air and online in River North. Nate Rogers, Fox 32 Chicago.
Nate, thank you. And Gabriela Primus is live at Northwestern Hospital, where several of the victims were taken after the shooting. What is the latest there, Gabby?
Natalie, we're just arriving within the last 10 minutes, but we were able to gather a lot of information. We're outside of Northwestern Hospital here, and as Nate most likely mentioned, 2 males and 2 females lost their lives as a result of this mass shooting. And according to family members here at Northwestern Hospital, it was a daughter and a niece that was very loved, 26-year-old Taylor Walker. I believe we have a picture that we can bring up of her that her aunt was able to share with us that lost her life. She went to Mello release party, a fan group that her family told us is really like a family, that fan group. Taylor was one of the women who lost her life after this release party. Her family, they got the call around 11:30 and they haven't left Northwestern yet. They chose not to talk on camera.
The other 3 victims has not been identified, but may all 4 rest in peace and love and condolences to their families. Now, out of the 19 people shot, one of them is a well-known rapper and affiliate to Chief Keef and G Herbo, Doo-Wop. He was seen being carried to try to get help as he was shot in the leg, and as of now, he survived, thank God. Now, some people saying the reason Drills was dissed so much the day he lost his life allegedly trying to do a drill was because his neighborhood was allegedly responsible for the demise of a young man named Vontae, was allegedly responsible for the demise of a young man named El Peasy. But as of now, that's just rumors. But there you have it, fam. Lives lost, a drive-by, allegedly due to dissing. Remind you how quick things can turn into these streets, especially when music, the internet, and old street politics collide. Chicago's already heating up before the 4th of July hit. And situations like this show why some folks don't even like stepping out around that time. But as we head out of here, we do want to say rest in peace to everyone who lost their life last night. And love and condolences to you guys' family. We do want to send prayers to those who were shot and affected and pray for a speedy recovery. Everybody moving through this summer, I pray y'all move safely. I'm going to do my best to bring you guys the most accurate information to keep you guys updated along the journey. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And till then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.